Welcome back to the Hofacker Show. We are in a different setting. We are here in the great outdoors. We're here on a football field because we have a very special guest. We have a football player that is a defensive back at Methodist, and he goes by the name Lou. How do you say your last name?
Lamone.
Yeah,
but
so Lou Lamone Jr.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about kind of going through his freshman year of playing college football and his routines with the new NCAA rule changes, how that has been for him. Also living away at home in Fayetteville, North Carolina, how that's been for him. Give a background. Me and Lou, we went to high school together. He came in as a transfer. This is a special one, so I encourage you guys to stick all the way through the end. If you guys are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, The Hofacker Show, be sure to do so. Turn on the post notifications. That way you guys never miss out on any wonderful guests like Lou and many more to come this new year. If you guys are listening to this on Apple or Spotify podcast, on Apple Podcasts, leave a review out of 5 stars. Let us know what you thought of this episode. That's it, man. So we're going to first talk about, give the people a understanding of where you grew up, where you come from, how you got to where you're at now playing football at Methodist.
I'm originally born and from Moreno Valley / San Bernardino, California. So that's about like an hour outside of Los Angeles. Lived in San Diego too. So I'm really like a California kid. Military brat too. So real dad, he's in the Navy, stepdad in the Navy. I lived in California until I was like 12. Moved to Hawaii. Lived there for 3 years.
Hawaii? For what, for your dad?
Yeah, dad was in the military. So when I was there, like, funny part is, when I lived in California and in Hawaii, I was like a hoop. Focus on hooping. How clay is, like, I was literally playing like clay.
How old were you?
I kept playing till like 7th grade. I moved out here in Jacksonville, like 6th grade, half of my 6th grade year. And I will never forget this. My homeboys, Khalil, Zylan, Chris, they was like, bro, you need to come play football with us or whatever, you know, like this and that. Because like PE, I'll just play football for fun.
Right, just because your boys are out there.
My boys were doing this, so I'll do it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to guard the best receiver on the team. Guarded him. That practice, he had no catches. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, just play defense like basketball. Just stay with him. Right. So after that, the coaches came to me. They was like, have you been playing football before? I was like, no, this is literally my first time or whatever. So Pop Warner, they made me play cornerback. I tried out for basketball because I still wanted to play basketball. So I tried out for the team, got cut. My coaches from Pop Warner was like, you still want to play? So I was like, yeah, whatever. I played the spring ball year. Mind you, I've been bragging about I never get injured, none of that. Third game of the spring season, I go make a play, and I get blocked in my back. And when I fall, I land like this, and I break my collarbone. So that time, I was like, I'm done with football, all that, right? I go to Mandarin High School. We had this coach named Coach Birch and Coach Coleman. They weren't the head coaches. Our head coach was Coach Ramsey, who actually coached at Yulee with Derrick Henry. Coleman, who actually played with the Dolphins and pro teams and stuff. I was like, what position you want me to play? He was like, let me put you at linebacker. So when I was at linebacker, my freshman year, I was like, I'm not feeling it, bro. Like, my height, my size, playing linebacker, I was like, that's not happening. After that season, my coaches looked at me and it was like, they switched me back to like nickel corner. Now that year, I still played JV. It was like on and off. So like, play JV, got noticed by the biggest Jacksonville like name person for like to get athletes out. His name was like Dream King Films.
Yeah.
I had an interview with him after my Terry Parker game because I got a pick, my homeboy Josh got a pick, and my homeboy Trey. So we went crazy that game. After that, I got like big buzz behind it. Like he was saying like me and a couple players were like something brewing. Yeah, you know something. I'm starting to get my name out there. So I get moved up. Playoff time. That's when we never thought that we could make state. It didn't click to us until we was a school in Orlando. Beat them, we was like, we can really do this. Like, we can maybe make a run, you know? The state game, they go down there, they play. I didn't play that game. I was just on the sideline, whatever, because, like, you know, sophomore year, still kind of, like, growing. After that state run, we had a lot of recruiting coaches. Like, a lot of high school players think, like, their stats and names going to get them. No. Like, I promise you, if you win state, you're going to get a lot of recruiting coaches because they want winners. Know how to sacrifice and play a role, which is a big key in college now because you get a lot of recruits come in and they think we finna take somebody's spot. Like, even me, I came in, I thought I was going to, you know, have a big role. No. First meeting we had, they posted a depth chart. I was like, wow. So I was like, oh, shoot, got to work. You know, I wasn't mad. I knew it was a business. So the coach was like, you know, keep working or whatever because there. Now, mind you, the reason why I'm on the bottom of the depth chart, we had multiple guys in that DB room make all conference. So all conference, all regions. I sat down with myself and I said, this year I'm gonna learn, absorb, because in our defense, the safeties have to be versatile because we got 2 over top safeties. The nickel corners are actually safeties, and then we got somebody that plays a down linebacker at safety. So I was just absorbing the knowledge and stuff, and my coaches saw the progression and stuff of my IQ. 3 games, the coach was I started traveling with the team. There's a difference between you dressing home games and traveling. So traveling is the guys they know for sure. They put it out there. They ain't got to worry, because the coaches out there, this is their job. This is how they feed their family. So they're gonna make sure they put the best guys out. The home team is kind of we can have more numbers. The away team is kind of their scholarship athletes. The final game, my coach came up to me and he was just the off season starts tomorrow, and basically I had big things coming around, and how everything is falling apart is just me being patient and working. Big key to all y'all young athletes out there, man. Do not try to rush the process. You know your worth, right? But what I'm saying is, when you get to college, you're going to have that dude that's a veteran player or that superstar that's above you because he proved that he could do it in college. Think of it as a restart. Film goes a long way, I promise you.
So let's kind of backtrack to when you were on that state championship team, or you're kind of bouncing back and forth. But talk about, from that experience, the culture that team had to not only get to that position, but win in that position. What did you learn from either players or coaches or just the whole experience? That team is my favorite team, and it's not because we won state. It's only because they treated everybody like brotherhood. We hazed the freshmen or whatever. One thing about it was we all knew we was here to play ball. We all played our role. At that point, everybody wasn't selfish. We just knew that we had talented guys, and then the coaches all came accord. How some coaches will argue because of certain things they don't like, but even though they fought and everything, they still sacrificed for the team. It wasn't selfishness. Not even from our quarterback. That was our quarterback was already committed to Alabama. Had his big time things. So people would think he could have a big head,
right? No, most chill, laid back guy. One state or whatever, and we were still cool. I'm friends with most of them boys to this day. If I text them, they'll be like, "What's up? How you doing?" I did transfer to Nice my junior year. That's when I seen the culture change. So this is when.
So why was that? What was one of the reasons for?
My mom just moved house to apartment. Close to school to me was Nice. So I was just you know what? I'll play there. They probably need help. So I text that look outside looking in. You know what I mean? So I text Eric Marshall, Daquan, Jakarian, and JoJo. The culture was more of that year. We just had some guys that played for the team and some guys that were selfish. So that year it was Coach Jazz had a good talk, Coach G.
And I don't know too much about either one of them, but especially that man, Coach G. A lot of great things from a basketball player and a blank point of view. I've heard amazing things.
He's so passionate. So a lot of people know that he doesn't care who you are. Basically you do something wrong, he's gonna get in your butt about it. But it's simple fact that he loves the game and he loves his players. So when I first came in, no cap, when I first met him, he was cool guy, right? But on the field, it's different dude, straight to work. But Coach G, his way of it and Coach Jazz' way of it,
it's different tones.
Different tones, yeah.
So Coach G, he has a little bit more fire, but he'll get on you. But then afterwards, he say, "Come on, hug," and you guys hug it out, and then get back out there.
Me and Coach G had one of them moments before. I messed up on a play or whatever. When two competitive people don't agree, you're going to get an argument. I believe that same practice, I was that mad to where, I was just out there just, in a zone. He came to me, he was like, "Man, good practice today, all love, it's just," and I understood what he was doing. So I thank him to this day because if it wasn't for him, my coach that came up there to come recruit, he would have had to talk. He brought him there. I talked to whatever. We're group of players in the room. But I say it's 50-50 because Coach G brought him. And when I brought up Mandarin, he called those coaches as well. So they all spoke on my behalf. That's why I say it's a 50-50, not fully Coach G. You know what I mean?
And also part of it is you. It's you that's out there putting out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of people think of college football as the business for the coaches. And it's not. It's half coaches' business and half players' business. If you look right now, transfer portal is like high movement. And players enter in transfer portal because now they're treating it like pro free agency because they have that lenient of leaving the program that they thought was best fit for them. But recruiting coaches, I'm gonna tell you right now, coaches that recruit, they're gonna sell you some bubblegum bull crap just to get you there to the school. You got the NIL now. Players are able to represent themselves to get endorsement deals off their name.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like college football is just not a business for the coaches or the schools. It's also for the athletes.
Yeah, and that's how it should have been like that for a while.
Yeah, and I'm happy that now it's starting to become more towards us athletes because back then, even when my cousin played, he played Division I at Oregon State. It was more of like a modern day slavery type of thing. What I mean by that is a lot of like the schools will profit off of the kids' names. Like you had big time players like Johnny Manziel, Marcus Mariota. Big time college players bringing this money into your program. They make the money for your school, but they ain't seeing nothing in the pocket. So so they felt like basically you just profit. The transfer rules back then was like if you transferred, you had to sit out a year because they thought like if it wasn't for a like specific like emergency reason, you couldn't do it. Depending on when you transfer. I don't know too much about it because I'm learning it still, but just there.
Talk about briefly why Methodist and what the recruiting coaches wanted and like what pitched you to eventually go in there.
Filled out the application or whatever, sent them stuff, and then I took a visit up there. When I took a visit up there, I don't care like your resume as a coach. What I care about is like, okay, where you see like how you treat your players, like how you gonna fill this in, So like me walking and talking to him, like it was more of like family type of thing. Like he was basically like saying like when my mom dropped me off, I'm basically like his child, his son. I'm gonna bring you around family, stuff like that that type of thing. And then just like, you eat, I eat type junk. Like we in this together type of thing. If
the coach is having a conversation with you, it's right here. It's me and you right now. I'm not worried about.
There's certain coaches that only open up to their rooms to like their star players to watch film or whatever. But, with me, I walk in there. He's in there watching film with the coaches. I'll sit down with them, and they're talking film about me, talking plays. And, just that study time and even on the field, he'll like be like, no, you need to do this and that because he's focusing on every player because he feels like we're only strong as our weakest link. You heard that many a times. That's a big part of why my development is because of the type of coaches I have. And
if you put that culture and you set that tone with your squad, then everybody's equal because at the end of the day, like, everybody has potential and everybody brings value. So if you bring that best out of them, then it could only, even if they don't get minutes, but just uplifting them and making them feel like their best player or their best self, then that just bleeds onto everybody.
And a lot of the time, you got athletes out there trying to make plays, but when you got players out there just trying to do their job, most dangerous ever because they're putting their pride away and all that.
How has the transition from high school to college football been? Talk about workouts and talk about, independence, living on your own now, distinct and strict with how you want to better yourself and not having to have so many high school coaches and like not being taken as serious.
College football and high school football practices, they were the same for me. Now they're a lot more fast tempo, of course, fast tempo on it because we only have so much time with so much install we got to put in. But sleep schedule, bro, I used to sleep and don't worry about waking up early. But now it's more of I wake up at 5 and I go to sleep at 2. No, that's not gonna cut it. You got to remember what you're there for, because that college life will literally like make or break you. I promise you, like how many parties like I heard about. I'm like, bro.
How was your mental approach with high school versus college? So let's talk high school, like mentally getting yourself ready for practice, or talk about practice versus games.
I just went out there and just went out there and like because it's high school to the games. That's when I was like, be in there, get ready, listen to music or whatever, like get toned in. But with college, you literally like have to be locked in on every single thing you do. Like you gotta have like laser focus, like practice, laser focus, gotta be like in that zone like a game. Because if you're not, it's gonna be crazy, bro.
Some days you have bad days and stuff, but do you catch yourself, didn't get enough sleep if you went out, which was rare, but, do you feel like what you did the night prior, like, shown on the field or showed in the weight room, like, damn, Lou, like, why isn't it showing up today?
My first month, I was like, whoa, hold on. I don't got nobody cooking for me. I actually got to go get my own food, like, I got to wash my own clothes, like, those type of things I take advantage of. And now I'm out there, I'm like, you don't have nobody kind of like telling you, what to do or whatever, like, none of that. Basically trying to make you somebody, like, you're out there learning about yourself and, like, what you really want, and that's a big thing with, like, everybody needs to do. Like, sometimes, like, my mom was like, you sure you want to go up there? I said, yeah, it's good. And, like, I came back and I was like, I appreciate going up there because I grew into my own person without anybody saying, like, this is what you need to be.
It can be scary at some point because sometimes you make, like, these certain decisions or you do these certain things and it's like, is this right? Like, am I doing this right? You don't want to make a bad mistake. You have, like, certain hesitations towards doing certain things. There's nobody to guide me and nobody to help me out. Like, no, Lou, no, Tim, don't do that. Come do this. But you don't have a coach out there because you don't have a coach in life.
We see our friends now, they kind of like peaked. You know what I mean? Peaked in high school. There's some that actually doing what they're doing and like, no, and they're out there doing their thing, and then you got majority, like, don't even hear nothing about them. Like, they're not doing nothing. And, they're so focused on, like, the party life and living that because in high school, that's what they was. And, there's people like that. At one point, I was trying to be like them. I ain't gonna count. A real, like, wake-up call was that prom night. After we went to prom, we was trying to go to this after party. It's on the vlog, too, on Tim's channel, too. Don't forget it.
So what about that night put you in check?
Those people, they're so in tune with their own self-image and self-popularity that they're not just going to feel like if you're a nobody, they're not going to let you in, right? But 9 times out of 10, those nobodies are turning into somebodies. Like for example, our group, bro.
Everybody does this, is you perceive them and you picture one way, like, okay, Lou is going to do this, and, like, he's going to go this way. He's going to do football. He's going to get an education. He's going to try and take football as far as he can. But sometimes, like, there's things in life that, you switch it up and people do different things, and it shocks you because you had that perception of them for X amount of years. See, they don't see that till a couple years later. Like, they say, okay, oh, this is what his decision meant.
Influence, trying to basically make somebody happy, like in their family, their friend group, they're doing it because of them. They're not really focusing on what's making them happy. And that's why we see a lot of, like, people now, like, and it's crazy, later in life figure that out and then trying to make it happen when they should have figured out what they wanted to do and try to focus on that while they're young. Because my perception on making sure you're successful in life is attacking what you want now when you're young, so that when you get into your mid-20s and, like, leave and everything and you're in that spot, you don't got to worry about it because you applied yourself, like, you're focused on that. Like, you got some people that, I know some athletes, they're playing it just because their brother plays it, their uncle plays it, try to make them happy. And that's not the case, And I tell my little brother this all the time. I say, you don't have to play
just because of me.
Or you don't have to do this because of me.
That's a very good point.
People in general try to force that on people. And it starts messing with
your mental. Crazy.
Even in college is a mental game for real.
Not even just sports, but that you're passionate about, it's mental.
Because you're gonna have those days where you're like, it's not going my way. Like, those days might lead to, like, you might have a week that's not your day, but it feels like 2 weeks, like, it's going crazy. Like, athletes, you have so much success, and then when you get into that, like, slump or whatever,
that second guessing is crazy.
And then you gotta really, like, dig deep to why you really did it, and, everybody has their own reason, and, there's that,
I respect what you said for, I feel like I'm the same way, is when people take their time from now until they're however old to attack their passion. So let me ask you this. After football, I know you've probably sat and have a conversation with yourself. You want to take football as far as you can, but there comes a time and place where football is done for Lou. Yeah. What do you want to get out of this life?
Right now, I'm gonna use my degree, which I'm taking in sports management. So basically, my plan is to basically, like, work in a, like, MBA type of front office. So like either in Charlotte, LA, Houston, Miami, whatever, right? Worked there for a couple years, and then like while I'm doing that, learn the agency side of business so that I could open up my own sports agency. But it's not even gonna be a sports agency. It's gonna represent like athletes, music, like actors.
To welcome everybody for open arms.
Like, when you look at the industry, like I'm talking about sports, all that, like entertainment wise, people nowadays, they're gonna try to take advantage of like them because like they bringing in all this revenue and stuff. Like if you see it in the music industry right now, you got a bunch of artists that sign deals because they making it out, they making it away. But those record labels taking advantages, and now they see it, and they don't even own some of their rights on their music. You know what I mean? Because it's them. I planned on like starting my own agency, and we're making sure that everybody gets their cut deal from their creativity. You know how Rich Paul was? Rich Paul didn't.
I was about to bring that up.
Right. Rich Paul never like had a degree. Like an agent, you got to have the sports management degree, law degree too. But I don't plan on doing no law. You feel me? Like I'm just doing sports management because I'm playing ball right now.
Somebody of somebody of somebody. And then you try and figure out, let me manage this dude's money for a while.
Right.
And then word of mouth, just saying, okay, this guy, hey, my homeboy, he's been taking care of me for X amount of years. You can come check him out. And just the reliability of the word of mouth could be enough.
A lot of athletes like use that now because they know for a fact, like if I trust you and you're not going to do that to me, I'll take you over any agent in the world because I don't know that person from Adam. They're just selling me a pitch to try to get my business, So that's why, like, I plan on, like, me and my cousin already had a plan. He's back home in Cali right now doing his thing with the music, but we planned on basically, being with each other. Like, I'm not finna do him dirty, he not finna do me dirty. Like, that type of thing. Coexist, because we had talks like this when I was like 7 and he was like 9, bro. Like, just like talking about like future wise. And that's why a lot of people is like, when they talk to me, they're like, it's more like education and stuff, but it's just more of like what I see, like word of mouth.
It's not the textbooks that you open, it's the handshakes or it's the hands that you shake. A lot of things like if you want to be like, especially music, acting, all these different variety and having a versatile thing to provide for these people, you gotta start with the relationship first, because nobody's to try and sell a product and to try and tell somebody to join my team is not gonna work. Like obviously it's easier to sell a product to your friends because they know you, boom.
They know you from like, they know your motives and all that,
Because you've taken X amount of conversations to get to that point and say, yeah, I'm gonna buy a product for you. I'm gonna buy a piece of land for you, a house, a t-shirt, it doesn't matter. So like building the foundation of just understanding how to get to people and like building a relationship, you'll be set, because then you can connect with anybody, because then those people that you become friends with, if their friends need somebody, they know who to go to. And it's just a reference.
Start with somebody that, they got a name in this business, I'm gonna be with them. It's not gonna cut out.
What's going through your head before the game, before the time you wake up, like your daily routine, to get yourself physically and mentally prepared to put your body and head through war.
So game time. So the day before, we'll have like a walkthrough, whatever. That night, we'll have a team meeting, like defense, offensive side, but no coaches. It's just the players in there. Like we in there, we talking what we need to do, as a collective, and just talk, And then after that, the head coach will like give us a pre-day speech, tell us what we need to do. I'll go to sleep around 11. So after that, I wake up at 8. And then after that, I'll turn on to like Jay-Z, Lyrical Drake, J. Cole, stuff to get me focused. Nipsey Hussle, like focus on what I'm doing today. We do our morning walkthrough. He gives us a speech that day, team meal. After that team meal, I go back to my room. So like my essentials is I always have deodorant. I always bring my camera. Like I always brought my camera. My home, like some of the pictures, like the 2 pictures I have, I'll give it to the player that's not playing, and they'll take the team pictures. So like they'll take the players' pictures and stuff. I brought my camera. I was planning on doing a game day vlog, but I was just so zoned in, I just didn't do that. So I have my camera. I have my accessories, so depending on what I feel like wearing that day, I'll have it in there. I always have my shades on. I'm focusing before the game. Like every time I put the shades on, I had a good game. So I was just like, this is my superstition. Get down there, get in the locker room.
How do you get to a certain state, like mental state? Like, what do you do? Is it you sit and be with yourself, or do you play certain?
Yeah, so I'll go back to my room and I'll cut on the music. I will look at highlights. So like on my phone, I would look at Elijah Griffin's college highlights. I looked at Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James, I'll still have the same type of music on, pre-game warm-ups. I'll go back, chill in the locker room. That's when my teammates, we started playing music. So that's when the more turnt music. So like now it's tunnel vision is focused on what I got to do, but that turnt music brings out like the energy and also the savage side, because like with football, you got to be like a savage in order to be successful. And it's crazy. We get to the field, do our little individual drills. Me and my DB boys, the Jack boys, we go ahead and we pray, before the game with each other in there. After that, we go back to the locker room, tee up again, then come down, get ready to play. After that, we just play. We know the mission. It's just when you get in that mental state, it's more of a clear mind. Like you only have one goal, and you just focus on that one thing. You don't need to be worried about and what's going on outside. Like when you hit that field, it's like you forget it. Like
obviously, football, it's a very vigorous type of way to deal with stress, but
you feel like that little kid again, And what I also said was like
it's a thing that kind of takes you out of reality.
Yeah, but when it hits the field time, and some of my people know this, like I got this alter ego name from Mandarin. So like that state year, I got this alter ego. They call me Chico.
There you go.
So they call me. That's why my Instagram name is
Chico Hendrick.
Call me Chico because at first it was a joke. Like they was just trying to be funny or whatever. And because like I'm half black, half Mexican, so they was just trying to be funny or whatever. So we was like ranking. Right. So then that first day practice we was hitting, I hit the tight end hard and he flew out of bounds. I don't know how that happened. I was just in my zone that practice. Then a dude tried to catch the ball in the air, smacked him to the ground, like hard. Right. And then like I was making plays back and forth, picks, hits, like it was crazy. So they started calling me Chico more. Like all the players started calling me that, whatever. And at that time, I was listening to Future like heavy before like the practices and the games. Right. So then I was like, I can't call myself Chico Future. That's just, it don't ring, right? Yeah. So then my homeboy was like, you listen to Future, call yourself Chico Hendricks. So I was going to put the real O, but it's already taken by a football player named Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen goes by that name too. After I watched Marcus Allen's film and like watching how I play, is like most fun side dudes out of football, like love to dance, whatever, have fun. Yeah. But once it's ball time, it's like you meet a different person. Sometimes, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I never knew the story of why, so it came from Mandarin.
And once I got the niece, the name wasn't there. It was just Lou. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then when I started training with these pro guys, see my Instagram, whatever, he called me Chico, and then they asked me, I told them. And they made a joke about it, but I was just like, yeah, that's how I go. That's why, like, my college homeboys don't know this yet. But, like, this coming up sophomore year, Chico will be out. Like, more than, when he gets his opportunity. Like, it's more of it was, like, a learn back year. But this year is more of, like, I sat back and I was like, I'm a humble dude. But, like, I'm seeing more humble people get ran through, and it's time for you to just go be
you and go get yours.
Go get yours, and at that point, I started doing a rigorous training system. Some days I don't finish it on time. Now I'm going to be rigorous on it, but wake up at 4 a.m., go train from like 5 all the way to 7. Get more time in. And Kobe was like my favorite athlete of all time. It's just how he competed. So like when you study with like different competitors, bro, like, even though you're a true competitor, you got to learn from the greats to learn how they attack. Attributes to combine it with yours so that you could really become something different. So, his work ethic, started putting it in. Like, when he said, like, the 4 workouts you have in a day, it started to make sense. Like, it's not going to, like, you're going to bridge more gaps.
But it's the thought that matters. It's the effort that matters. Obviously, it's a lot of, like, betting on yourself. Betting on how, because you can't ever, this is from a man to man, don't ever compare Lou to somebody else.
Right, and
Lou
that's
to
what
Lou,
you got to learn. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you posted on Instagram what you learned for 2021. I was like, self-love and knowing yourself. Like, that's mainly that, because I used to compare myself to all these other dudes, like, out there. And I was like, like, what's he doing special to get that, and that, just looking at that, and like, everybody's road different, bro. Like, you gotta go out there and accept your journey. Like, all that success you're gonna get, bro, that's just gonna be a medium high. What I mean by that is like you're gonna feel that high of success for a little bit, and then it's just gonna go away. Like people gonna forget. Like, so that's why I mean, like, you gotta accept the journey. Like, you gotta be happy with it. Like, some days you're gonna be like, I don't feel like doing this, but I gotta do it because this is what I want to do.
Yeah, and whatever you want to, however much you put in is what you get out.
I went to high school with, they look at me now and they like, bro, like, you doing what you say you was gonna do. And I was like, yeah, because
I've known for a long time now.
when you bet on the only person you could really, like, the highest investment is yourself.
Amen.
And what I mean by that is, like, when you're invested in yourself, you're the most dangerous person on the planet. When you invest in yourself and stop worrying about what these other people doing and just be in your own lane, you're gonna
see exponential growth mentally.
Exponential growth. Like, the supply and the demand for yourself is gonna be so much higher.
Because at the end of the day, Lou, you're gonna be, whenever you have a wife and then whenever you guys get older and stuff, there's gonna come a day where you're gonna look back and you're gonna be in that wheelchair. And you're going to be on your deathbed.
Right. You know, and I don't want to, what I'm saying is, when I get to that time, I don't want to sit there and be like, bro, I could have did so much more.
But I let the thought of others.
Thought of others, but also me being an enemy to myself. You train too. So, like, there's some days you're like, I'm done. Yeah. But you got to push through it because you know that your mind gives up before your body. A lot of it, your mind is like, bro, we haven't done this in a long time. I don't know what you're doing. Like, cut this off.
That was real talk right there. I've never heard of that out of you, and that was good. I have found since being at college, there's some people that are really okay with being content, and you can't knock them for it. But you know, if you want it, if guys like us, we got ambitious goals that we need to. The only people that we need to shock is ourselves. Like, okay, how far can I really take this? Then you can't be hanging around those people too long.
And a lot of it is like, we all had that one day where it was like something happened and he was like, you know what? I'm finna push hard to do this. Like I'm gonna take it serious to the point to where, you know, everybody had them days in our group where it's like, we're gonna take this serious to prove everybody wrong.
At first it was attacking others, but
then it becomes
the realization of this is for myself. How far can I take this?
How far can I really go? You know?
How well of a body could I make? Mental state could I get? A lot of it is a lot of time being within yourself.
Right. And
because you're not going to find that when you're hanging with parties with 20 girls and 20 guys that have no intentions.
But also you got to surround yourself with the right people. Like, people that basically, you got people that are content and you can be cool with. You got people that's like ambitious people you want to be around. You actually want to be around, and I learned this year, be around people that's better than you right now so that you can learn from them and try to basically get knowledge from them, and then soon your potential is going to go above them. So start learning from like key people, like people that's been there, people that's, you know, right now better than you. And like, also you got to give knowledge to the younger people too. Like, these young athletes, you know, so like I said, my brother said he want to play football. I didn't say don't, you know, you ain't got to do it, but he wants to do it. So I said, you know, I'm giving him, I could give you knowledge. Like,
really with it then.
Yeah, you really, I could give you the knowledge. Like, some of the stuff I know now compared to when I was his age.
Yeah. I wish I had that somebody.
Right.
What was a moment that clicked with you that you said to yourself, Lou, I really want to, I know we were talking about how, like, your friends kind of said, hey, yo, come play football. What was the moment where you said to yourself, this is my body, and this is a game that I really like to play? And what was the switch that flipped with you saying?
The switch that flipped actually was, all right, before I played ball, I went to my cousin's bowl game in Hawaii. So when he played, it was Oregon State versus Boise State. So I seen, like, Jay Ajayi on Boise State play. I seen Brandon Cooks play and whatever. So me seeing my cousin play and like all the fans there or whatever, I was like, that's cool. Like, my cousin playing, right? So I was never thought about that. I was just thinking more college basketball because UH basketball team was like top tier that time. So like I was thinking about like hooping, like seeing Buddy Hill play in that gym and stuff like that. Oklahoma, in the Hawaii Bowl and stuff. I'm like, yo, like,
lived in California and then Hawaii
and then moved here. Yeah. So like seeing those guys, it was just like even though my cousin played football, hoop dreams was on my mind. Like, it was just at that time. So what clicked with me, though, was like, I believe it was my freshman year. My freshman year, like, I started making plays and stuff, and then I was just like, yo, hold on. We could really go somewhere with this. Because at that time, my homeboy, he went to college and whatever. You playing on a scholarship and stuff like that, and I learned that it's easier for, like, college football athletes to make it on a scholarship than a D1 hooper because the roster size is totally different.
Coaches have more selection.
Right, because the coaches have more of a, they can get somebody out there and develop them, which hoop team, you can do that too, but it's only going to be like 1 or 2 guys you're going to do that with because you got 12 or 13 and you're really going to use 7 or 8 on your rotation, you know? So it's just different. So after that, seeing him, and then, you know, I did have people, you know, haters, I'm not going to say their names, you know. These dudes always, you know, talk down or whatever. They was on that team or whatever, but at that time I was just like, I'm going to prove them wrong. You know, and once I had that mentality of that, you know, freshman year, you know, I wasn't at the best. Sophomore year, that's when I hit that. Oh, okay, we getting somewhere. Junior year was more of a, had to sit back again. The senior year, it was more of a sacrifice. Like, I couldn't do what I really wanted to do my senior year, but it got me to where I'm at now, so I can't really be mad, you know?
I'm not talking specific football, or we're just talking life. Who are some of your role models in your life? It could be people in your family, obviously mother, all that stuff, siblings, father, all that. But even people that you've never met. What are some of the role models that, you know, keep you in check and keep you going?
One, of course, my mother. Like, my mom, she, you know, she gonna be your mother's gonna be your biggest fan no matter what, you know? Either way, she gonna love you, but she always gonna push you. I really didn't have that, like, male role model, like, in the house. But, like, also my uncle pushed me and my cousin, you know, try to be the best, you know, my granddad or whatever, like, those guys in my family. But one person that I could really say that's, like, role model and, like, put me in check is my trainer, like, Reg. Like, me and him have talks now where it's more about, like, all right, I've been through this before, this is what you got to do, you know, like, that's my, how can I say this?
He's your master Shifu.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, he been played college football. He played at FSU national championship team, you know, there, you know, so he knows the ins and outs. You know, me and him have the exactly kind of like the same journey through this football stuff, but he puts me in check, you know, and also my homeboy TP, which his name is Terrence Plummer. He puts me in check too. There's some days he'll give me coaching point. I remember one time I did one-on-ones in the gym. I was fooling around and whatever. Then I went to my 8 a.m. workout session. He pulled me to the side and he said, you better not let that happen again. Like, he was in my butt. And at that point, I was like, okay, yeah, it's time to focus up, you know? So there's a lot of people. I can't really put nobody. You're going to have people in your life, in your circle, that you're going to learn from each and every one. You know what I mean? So, like,
distinct person brings something to the table for you.
That's what builds strong relationships, you know, and, you know, a lot of people try to build relationships because they're a cool person or whatever, but that cool person cannot bring nothing to the table. They just a cool person, you know? But somebody that brings something to the table, it don't matter. Like, you could be somebody that supports them, you know, you could be somebody that gives them knowledge, be there for them or whatever. And that even leads to, like, any relationship, like friendship, girlfriend, boyfriend type of thing, you know, just allowing yourself to, relationships has to be 50-50. It cannot be 95-5. Equal effort into that goal. And I promise you, like, some of the strongest friendships are built off of the same effort.
Peace of mind and going into it, like, I actually have a care for your opinion and what you say and what you're trying to get at.
Right. And some days you're going to sit at this person, you're going to be like, bro, I'm not trying to hear that. You're just saying that just to say that. But then later on, you're like, that's why he told me that, okay, yeah, I'm dumb, I'm hard-headed, or, you know, or, oh, I see what they're talking about now. You know, so it's a lot of that.
For all the youngins, if they're at your position, DB, and they're just starting to play, what are some players that you watched coming up and continue to watch now? Who's that player that, like, made you love the game even more? Because every athlete, no matter the sport, has that one.
Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor was just that dude. Like, him coming down and just, like, I don't know, like, people think, like, DBs is just the softest position, like, defensive-wise to hit. So, like, when he came down, he always, like, made somebody feel him, right? And his favorite saying is, like, I hit like I punch. And, you know, so, like, when he says I hit like I punch, I'm like, okay, when you punch somebody, you're not going to come down and just, you know, you're going to come down and try to murder him. Yeah, so that's how you got to attack it. So then I watched him, Sean Taylor, Ryan Dawkins. More of them is, like, current now. So, like, I watched not Tyron Taylor. That's a quarterback. Tyrann Mathieu, he's a DB for the Chiefs now, but when he was on the Cardinals, he was a dog, you know. So him, Derwin James, Jamal Adams, Jalen Ramsey, I just watch him because it's just his trash talk. He backs it up, and that's what I love about a player. If you could back up your trash talk, you want a scary person, you know.
Have you ever heard of a life mantra? So it's a like a life saying or a life message or a quote that you live your life by, but it's something you like to implement.
Oh yeah. There's
have one,
there's about two of them, but one of them it goes by this. It came from a movie. The movie was horrible, but it's from an athlete. It's hard work beats talent when talent fails to work. Yeah. So like
that from KD?
KD in that movie. Thunderstruck, horrible movie, first off, terrible. And then also, we're a product of our own environment. Not a lot of people are the product of the environment, but let's say you had these certain group of people. Like, you could be that one person that ambitious is chase what you want, and then that person can just be, he didn't drift off, but he never took opportunity or chances. So then he tries to weigh you down, or that person tries to weigh you down off of what they see, like they seen something that you can do that can be big.
And they look at it as, I could have been that.
They look at it as a threat now, and they try to bring jealousy and envy. But what I mean by that is, if you hang out with friends that party, you know, do all this stuff, not focus, you're going to be in an environment of that soon, because soon enough, you're going to be hanging around that too much, and then it's just going to start building habits.
It's going to come to a point where that's all you know.
Right, that's all you know. So then, versus if you hang out with somebody that's, you know, working hard, chasing their dreams, all that, and you know, talking about that, they're going to come out and they're going to be, grab habits from them. You're going to grab the workaholic ethic. You're going to build that knowledge of you just talking. It's not book smart, but they street smart, you know? And street smart go a long way in life now than book smart.
Yeah, where they know how to handle people.
People, nowadays, you got to know how to handle and talk to everybody. You can't just know how to talk to, you know, somebody with the same background as you. You got to learn how to, you know, connect with other people, like understand, you know, one culture there and then the other culture here. And then you'd be like, oh, I mess with that. You know, like, you got to look at it as your resources so that when you decide what you want to do, you can use those resources and make something that's big.
Yeah, amen to that. You're going to have a lot of people coming to you and watching this video. So this is your audience, and this is also my people. As an athlete, as a college player, this is your floor to look at that camera and speak to all the young athletes or anybody. If you have any messages or if you want to say anything to get off your chest, the floor is yours.
One, if you're in high school, bro, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, I'm not getting this opportunity, and you got, you know, your people that you look at and you're like, bro, I'm better than him and he's getting this offer, like I should get an offer and stuff. Don't hesitate. Just wait your turn. Don't rush it. You know, just a lot of people try to rush it, and nowadays I hear like they ready to leave that school because they rushed it. You want to find a perfect fit for you. Also, you got to work hard, bro. Like, all that, you know, like, playing on the game is cool. I play on the game, too. But, like, you got to focus on what you mainly want. All that high school, you know, popularity crap, that stuff's out the window right when you graduate, bro. I promise you it is. Like, you got to go out there. You got to be basically on what you got to do. Your man or woman junk. Like, I'm talking to all athletes. Go out there and get in your bag. Like, chase the journey, not the destination. Like, chase the journey. The destination's gonna come. Like, just chase the journey and work hard. Secondly, if you're trying to reach college, bro, grades is everything, bro. I promise you, there's some guys that I know that really could have balled, but they can't because now they got to go to a smaller school, get their grades right to go back to the level that they can reach, you know? Don't screw yourself over. Focus on class, grade. Don't care what nobody says, man. You're going to have doubters, haters, all that, man. If you go out there and play what you do, man, do your style, do what's you, man. This sports stuff is an art, man. It's an art of basically our expression of us. People will accept you for you being you. And you also got to be out there, man, and you got to go out there. Every day is a battle. Every day is a test, man. Like, every day is a test of your mentally, like, all right, do I really want to do this? Like, every day, bro, you got to think of it as this. If I don't work out today, or I don't do something that's going to better me with this football junk today, there's somebody out there that's working 10 times harder than me if I don't do it today. You got to stand out. So I promise you, you got to look at yourself and be like that. And secondly, bro, all the undersized athletes, bro, don't look at your height as a crutch or excuse. Look at it as an advantage, bro. Like, bro, if you 5'7" and you play defensive back and you going on a blitz and you going against 6'3", 6'5" linemen, bro, you're lower to the ground than them. Get underneath, you know, just use your height and your size to an advantage. You're always gonna have imperfections in anything you do. Use your imperfections and just try to change them to advantages. Right when you turn off the excuses and start really being like, okay, this is me. I'm gonna have to do what I can do. Take it from what it is and push harder. It just means you got to work harder, man. That's all it is, man. Work hard and do it. And all to my athletes, bro, that's playing, don't think of it as this the only way out. Like, shoot, right now I had those thoughts too, but shoot, there's a way for us to get to where we want to be, you know? There's always a different road, you know? So don't look at it as the numbers wise. I hate when people use numbers, chances, and opportunity because that's basically trying to put a mental crutch on you, basically saying like, you can't do this. I got 2-3 teammates right now, they entering the draft. Like, it's crazy to have teams looking at them because they went out there and they looked at the goal. They didn't care what nobody said, like numbers-wise, all that. They said they're going to beat the odds, you know. They're second to none. So just go out there and do what they got to do, you know. You can't be second to nobody anyway, bro. Nobody's going to give you that hand, you know. So you always got to bet on yourself and just focus on your goals, you know. Like, even to the people out there in general, even in your business, life, spiritually, all that, bro, you got to put in time and effort for it, man. I promise you can get scared. You could hit this dark point, right? A lot of times you hit a dark point and like you're just like lasered in that dark point. But what I feel like and what I learned is that once you hit that dark point, after you get out of it, you done like leveled up in life. Like basically like you done hit a new peak. Like, don't always try to focus on, oh, I hit this peak, I'm good. No, because if you hit that peak, man, everything could fall right back down. Like, you got to start hitting new peaks. You got to start making newer highs, you know, because like everybody says sky's the limit, bro. But I think, you know, through the universe is the limit type of thing. You got to go higher than some of these people, man. You know, like Pop Smoke said, shoot for the stars, but aim for the moon type of thing. You know, you don't want to go lower than where you need to be. You create your own potential. You create what you want to be, you know. You out there and do that. And shoot, you could be a dangerous person, bro.
But that's it for this one, man. I appreciate you for taking the time and
for sure
speaking and opening up and talking with me today. But if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so. I'm going to leave all of Lou's stuff in the description. If you guys are listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, me and Lou appreciate you so much for tuning in to this point. If you're watching on the YouTube side, we appreciate you even more for sticking all the way through. This is the Hope Factor Show with Lou Lamone. So grateful for you guys. Stay tuned for the next one, but that's it for this one, and we will catch you in the next one. So peace out.